maybe I could help someone.
Yeah.
So I just kind of started doing it. I mean, it genuinely isn't for like views or like, oh, look at me playing. I mean, like, it started with me. I used it because it helped me.
Right.
So I wanted to do it to help others.
Cool.
Now, obviously, I care about the quality and the sound and things, but I had to do some research because you have to get the audio from your in-ears on the video and not just the raw drums.
Right.
Because you wouldn't hear anything but raw drums, and that sounds terrible. So I kind of did some like GoPro researches, and it's like a mic adapter that goes from the GoPro into a splitter into the Aviom. So your in-ear goes in one side of the splitter, the mic adapter goes into the other. Okay. And so now it's going to pick up anything in the Aviom. So now you can get the guitar, the piano player, the singer, the talkback mic. And so you just record it and you go, and hopefully you don't mess up.
So what they hear online is exactly what you're hearing.
Exactly what we're hearing live. Yeah.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Cool. Guys, Jacob, he's the one who I've given some shout outs to him on the channel before, and you'll see some clips and some things on some other videos. And he's the guy that I'm referring to because, we've played together quite a bit. Yeah. And so I like to, number one, you have a channel, so I like to support that channel.
Appreciate that.
But number two, it's like, I know you.
Yeah.
So the things that I post, it's firsthand experience that, I know your level of commitment, your level of skill as well. And so I don't want to just throw some drummer out there that I don't know.
For sure.
And
I think it's funny because like I'll watch your videos and like I'll see you like shout me out, and I'm like, he didn't even ask me, but that's cool. It's funny. It's like he trusts that like we have a relationship where he can just do that, and like I'm not gonna feel weird about it. So no, I love it. I mean, I love the church talk stuff. It's just like we need more people passionate about talking about like church topics, and like we can talk worship, click tracks, like that's fun, debatable topics, but like I have more fun talking about church talk topics. I mean, it's just kind of our lives,
Yeah, and where both of us are in the worship ministry, it's kind of natural that we'll speak more towards the worship and sometimes more of the tech. Because I'm finding that like even with our videos, when I talk about something that's general to the church, there's not as many people that get engaged with it as when I'm talking about a way that we have done something tech-wise within our worship ministry. It's like that seems like that's where more people get involved, and they're like wanting to maybe they're just wanting to know, how that worked for us, because that seems like the best videos, at least the most watched videos anyway. Not
whether
the best
people
videos,
like it or not. Tech is a part of the church in 2024. I mean, live stream, COVID, and it's just like, wasn't that fancy back in the day, and there's equipment and lights and this. I'm like, that stuff is important, and I mean, I look at other churches, I'm like, wow, their tech or their social media is really good.
Right.
And if that's what draws people in nowadays, then that's what draws people in nowadays.
Yeah.
And you can use it for good. And it matters. I mean, quality attracts quality. James says it all the time, and I totally buy into that.
Yeah, I think all that's important. I mean, I used to be of the mindset like, what does it really matter? Yeah. Especially when it comes to the worship side of things, because I'm like, people are listening just to listen to good quality, and they're not really worshiping with you. But the word is like, it's getting down in them. Yeah. So I'm like, don't worry about the worship, just do the word. But then later on, I find out that there are people that are stuck in their homes. They can't leave, or they're in the hospital, or they want to be there in person but can't be. And they're actually joining with their church family in worship. So why not give them the greatest quality that we can? Yeah. So my mind has changed a little bit on that. Yeah. So
it's a different era.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, it is.
You don't want to be a spot where you're like, oof, I don't want to go watch the live stream.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
right. And
do I sound that bad?
It's unfortunate that most churches in our area, I'm just going to say most churches, period, their live streams don't sound that great.
100%.
Because they don't represent what you hear in-house. And that's just because either lack of personnel, lack of people that
I think that's number one
that they need, because they need a separate person to run the online and not just mirror it. Because that's what we're doing at our church now is we're mirroring what we have in house, because there's not a dedicated person to run that. And I think that's probably where most churches are at.
There's like a volunteer. It's like, oh, I'll do it for you. And there's like someone who actually like really likes and enjoys and is skilled in that area.
Right.
And I think most churches lack the personnel. They have like volunteers, which is great, a great heart. I'll run the lyrics, I'll run the lights, but they're only doing what they can do.
Right.
You know? So yeah.
Right.
I'd say it's personnel for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Then it takes more. Then it takes two of those same people to separate it out and do one in house and one for online. Because it's like, you listen to churches online and they're so rough. It's like, why would, especially if you're going to a concert the night before or whatever, or you're watching YouTube of professional videos and it's made for YouTube or made for a video, and then you switch over to your church and the quality is just so much different. It's like, why
and
would...
Unfortunately, that's what's going to attract a younger generation. Right. I mean, if I moved somewhere, I'm 30. If I moved to another city and I had to find a church, what am I going to do? I'm going to go online,
right,
and maybe listen to a couple. And your flesh, your gut reaction's like, oh, I'm going to go try this one because like they sound good,
right?
And maybe you get there and it's like, ooh, this is not the right choice, but that social media live stream presence is like the first introduction. It's like a first impression.
Right.
So I feel like it's important to nail that first impression to get them, to the church, and then obviously the message and the worship and the culture and the fellowship can take over from there.